Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at the Walmart out in Plano, Texas. As always, please make sure you guys are hitting the like button. And for my plant foldies, which is what I call my viewers and subscribers, welcome back. And for my new followers, please make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. So we're going to walk into this Walmart, which is right off of I-75 in North Dallas, which is where I am based at. And you can see right here, they've got some lilies out ready for Easter. And we've been seeing a lot of these. These are all for $6.97. Some spring cactus. I haven't ever seen any spring cactus blooms. Look at that nice looking one. Actually, these are for $5.97, even better. They come in assorted colors, and I really like that. But we're gonna walk over here and just take a peek at their outdoor section and see if they actually have any new houseplants available. Remember plant shopping a couple weeks back, maybe a month or two ago, and I was able to see a live restock, and you can see right here what a nice looking full Walmart that we have over here. The plants are organized just from the get-go. So I'm going to just pull a couple of these plants. Like right over here, we are looking at some pineapple bromeliads. So I didn't realize that pineapples were actually part of the bromeliad family. We've seen a lot of these at another local plant nursery called Callaways, and this one is for $17.47. Not a bad price for this gorgeous looking plant. It's really cute with the little miniature pineapple. And you know, that's the thing about Walmart. You want to check out all of these big box stores because we're seeing a lot of these plants getting restocked. And you can see here by Growers Bench, this is an Alocasia Pink Dragon. Nice looking Alocasia Pink Dragon. This one is for $17.47 as well. I do like the pink stems on it. And then I was able to rescue one from Walmart. I bought it for $7 and it is starting to push out some new growth. So I'm really happy about that. I feel like Alocasias can actually bounce back. You just got to give them a little bit of tender love and care. And you can see right here we've got an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos for $10.97 in a hanging basket. This one isn't actually bad at all. This one looks to be a little bit more sun stressed just because the leaves are a little bit more yellow and bleached out. That doesn't mean that the plant is unhealthy. It just seems like it just got a lot more light than it's used to. And with pothos plants, they can tolerate lower light conditions. Here we've got a nice looking staghorn fern hanging basket, a Costa Farms Exotic Angels. This one is for $20.28 at this particular Walmart. Again, I want to add some staghorn fern to my plant collection. I'm really looking forward to mounting one and actually, putting it in one of my walls. I've been working on my plant shelves, and guys, look at this Hydra Helix, or the correct way to say it is Hedera Helix, which is in English ivy. That one doesn't have a plant ID, or at least it's missing its tag. In my previous video where I went to Lowe's, I was able to see, I think, 10 different Hedera Helix. And I asked you guys, how many times did I say that? So really curious to see if you guys put that in the comments on my previous video. But look at this gorgeous looking bromeliad in a self-watering planter by Costa Farms, $14.97. I swear there are so many varieties of bromeliads. The ones that I'm most interested in are the ones with a lot of pink. I love pink plants. And right over here for $14.97, we've got another Ficus lyrata in a self-watering planter by Costa Farms. I do enjoy all of the self-watering planters because it does take the guessing game of whether you need to be watering a plant or not. They really do work well for like calatheas especially, or like really thirsty plants. And if you've been following my plant shopping videos, I love aglaonemas. And then this one is an aglaonema red cyan for $14.97. You can't get enough about aglaonemas. Very easy to care for plants, can tolerate lower light conditions. They definitely like to be on their drier side. And you can see we got some calatheas and this ever so consistent and easy to care for plant, this Raven ZZ at Costa Farms Trending Tropical. Look at the new growth of the leaves, how they just come out green and then they eventually darken to that beautiful dark black color. That's why they call it the Raven ZZ. And one of my favorite pothos, this is an Epipremnum aureum global green pothos. Now this pothos, you definitely need to give it a lot of bright and direct light for it to have that variegation. If it gets lower light conditions, it'll start to revert back and you can't really see that green on green variegation. I do love some green on green variegation. That subtlety about it is really nice. And with global green pothos, it used to be one of those rare plants. It did get that mutation from Japan. That's where they first discovered it, and it eventually became more of a common plant that we see at a big box store. And here we've got a Calathea Green Goddess. I've been seeing a lot of these self-watering planters of Calathea Green Goddess. What makes this Calathea unique is it's really just all green. It doesn't have like the purple undersides of the leaves, which I don't mind at all. Green plants are really nice. And we have even more plants right over here, some easy to care for plants, some Sansevierias or snake plants. We're looking at another Calathea right here. This is a Calathea medallion. You can see that there is that purple undertone for the leaf interest. I like Calatheas. I think they're gorgeous, but Calatheas are so much better when you grow them in hydroponics. So basically, for those that don't know what hydroponics is, it's basically taking all of the soil off of the roots and just growing it in straight water with some water nutrients. It's really worked out for me so far with Calatheas, and I haven't seen a lot of Philodendron Pink Princess. I know there were a bunch released out by Growers Bench. This one is for $24.47. I would say this Philodendron Pink Princess, though, doesn't have nearly as much variegation as the ones we've seen earlier this year that were released. And we've got an Alocasia Ninja. Really think that this Alocasia Ninja is cute. What I like about it is the velvety leaves, the purple undersides, and just how round the leaf shape is. Mine is doing fairly well, considering that there was a moment where I did just like neglect it. And I do love Alocasia Milo Light. Look at how gorgeous these leaves are. Like literally when you touch the leaves, it feels like leather. It's a very thick leaf. So, you know, it's one of those Alocasias that are a little bit harder to find, but for $17.47, that is not a bad price at all. You know, Alocasias are gorgeous. There's so many varieties. I've caught myself actually wanting to collect them all. But again, with those types of plants, you have to be a little bit more selective and make sure that you are giving them the right growing conditions. I am now showing you guys a bunch of anthuriums, some blooming anthuriums right over here. These are the common pink ones and the red ones, but this one I've seen and I was actually tempted to buy today. This one has that dark raven foliage, or as the new growth is, and then the flowers or blooms are kind of unique. They've got this orange, you know, tone about it. It's just a really interesting looking anthurium when it comes to these blooming anthuriums. I do like that the leaves are darker. I love dark foliage plants as well as like neon or yellow plants. You know, we've talked about this in a lot of my plant shopping videos. And I just like that variety, you know, purple leaves, dark leaves like this. I think that anthuriums, look at that gorgeous flower, for instance. I think these anthuriums are so easy to convert into hydroponics. They've got some really sturdy roots, and the ones that I have so far, I've got 3 of them, are doing very well. And then you can see right here, this one has orange blooms and it's got some darker foliage leaves. So for those watching the channel right now in this video, plant foldies, let me know what you guys think about these anthuriums. Would you buy this one particularly? If you are on the live premiere chat, please let me know in the comments in the live premieres. And for those who consistently go to my live premieres every evening, thank you for always going on to the live premieres. I love engaging with you guys, interacting with you. And to Kathy and a bunch of the other plant foldies that are regulars, encouraging everybody to hit the like button. I really appreciate that. Can't stress enough how it helps with my channel's engagement. When you are liking the videos and leaving comments, YouTube will push out the video to even more people who are interested in plants. And it's always nice to grow our community so we have more people to chat with and interact with. But as you can see here, this Walmart actually has a pretty good amount of plants. You know, I'll give this Walmart credit. It may not have a lot of the most unique plants. The plants here, though, are still pretty healthy, and I do like the arrangement of the plants. It's one big table of green gorgeousness. Speaking of green gorgeousness, it looks like Costa Farms has released a bunch of begonia maculatas, those polka dot begonia, angel wing begonias. I have yet to get one of those, but it's one that I will eventually add to my collection. But you know, I don't always have the best luck with begonias, and that's the thing. When we are plant shopping and just taking care of plants, be mindful of what plants have given you success, what plants give you a little bit more challenges, and we can learn from it. Right here, we are looking at some purple waffle plants. These are for $4.97. Exotic Angel, Costa Farms released again. I do like purple waffle plants. I do think they are a little bit more thirsty of a plant. And we've got some Belus ficus right over here. I love the variegation. This one does require a lot of bright indirect light. It says that it's more ideal for terrarium, so I would assume it needs a little bit more higher humidity. And this Aglaonema, Can somebody please tell me what the plant ID is for this Aglaonema? I have been searching for it, been looking for it, but to no avail. I have not been successful. Look at how gorgeous these stems are. Particularly with Aglaonemas, they have a lot of colors, especially on the leaves, but what makes them interesting is also the stem color. Like, look at how ghostly the white stems are. It's amazing. It doesn't even look real. And then we've got some Calathea green goddess again here. Look at that new leaf unfurling. This one is definitely healthy, and that's when you are going to big box stores and plant shopping. Look for plants. Obviously, if you've already like inspected the leaves to see if there's any pests. If you see new leaves unfurling or growing, that's when you know that that plant is happy and is fairly established, and it would be one that you would take home. And then here's another golden pothos right here. This one isn't as variegated. So, you know, with golden pothos, you want to give it a lot of bright and direct light. Otherwise, it starts to become more green, and eventually it would revert back to what you would call a jade pothos, which is basically a green one. But you can see here, we've got a bunch of large plants. We've got assortments of Dieffenbachia. You've got some Spathiphyllum or peace lilies. Look at how large peace lilies can get. We've got some Monstera deliciosas, Dracaenas, Majesty palms, Dracaena massagianas, more sago palms, and this gorgeous looking Dieffenbachia right here is a Dieffenbachia maculata. Really like the high variegation, but I know myself, I haven't been successful with Dieffenbachia, so I'm really going to hold off on bringing a Dieffenbachia into my plant collection. But overall, this is a quick short video of Walmart, at least a selection of Walmart and what is available at this particular location. I will be going to many big box stores throughout the week. This one I have filmed on Sunday, so we will just see what kind of plants they have. And the next place we're going to go to is another Callaways nursery. This one is off of Custer Road in, I believe, either Allen or Plano, Texas. So for those new to the channel, I've been featuring a lot of Callaways nursery. The Callaways is a plant nursery chain. They've got several Callaways locations in the North Dallas, Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I really love their plants because for the most part, they have pretty much the same plants available. They've got a lot of diversity in the plants. This one doesn't have nearly as big of a selection, but needless to say, they still got some healthy plants. So we're just gonna take a little peek over here and see what they have available. I'll give you guys some of my insights. Like this one right here is an Alocasia. This one is for $14.99 in a 4-inch planter. I love the stems of this Alocasia, those little spots. And this Alocasia has some unique leaf shape. I don't know particularly what this Alocasia name is. So if you are an Alocasia expert, please let me know. I would love to know in the comments, you know, put a timestamp on it. Or if you are on the live premiere chat, let me know. And then we're going to be looking at this other Alocasia. This one is an Alocasia Tiny Dancer. Look at that, $14.99, 4-inch planter. Really like that as well. Look at how tiny the leaves are. And, you know, if you want a compact Alocasia, that is it. And then we've got some Alocasia Black Velvets here for $14.99 as well. It is raining, so these plants are a little bit soaked. I like the Alocasia Black Velvet. I have a Ninja, not the Black Velvet. The Black Velvet has a little bit more of a narrow leaf shape to it. I would love to get a variegated Alocasia Black Velvet, but those are still close to like $1,000 for a small variegated Alocasia. And then right over here is an Alocasia that used to be very hard to find. I would even say more considered rare. This is an Alocasia Frydek, and this was in a 6-inch planter for $16.99. You get at least 2 Alocasia Frydeks here. I love the variegated Alocasia Frydek. A friend of mine is most likely going to be able to get me one. He's been getting a lot of puppies coming out of the, pups coming out of the Alocasia. And that's the thing I like about Alocasias. They reproduce very quickly, so you can get a bunch of little babies from them. And we're looking at a cordyline compact tea plant. So I saw some of these cordyline or tea plants at Walmart, and I didn't grab them, but you can see right here, look at that, that variegation. I like that this cordyline plant is for $16.99 in a 6-inch starter planter. I bought one of these cordylines actually at Walmart for like $5 or something. I have yet to repot it. I've got a lot of repotting to do, but the thing about these cordyline plants is the more light you give it, like you can literally grow this in bright, direct sunlight, you will get really cool colors. I love the pink margins on it. I wish I could grow cordyline indoors, but they are a little bit more spider mite prone when you grow them indoors. So I'm not really sure how I would overwinter them. You know, a little bit about my plant collection. I ended up having to neglect a lot of my plants just because I got super busy with work. And even some of my tropical plants I put in the garage, and I didn't really give them the best care. They had like a grow light. I would water them sporadically. But now that spring has come around, the ones that survived are out in my back patio, my front patio, and they're living their best life. Hopefully we will get some recoveries from them. And then right over here, we've got a Rex begonia. These ones are for $16.99. These are large Rex begonias, actually. I am tempted to get Rex begonias. The 3 Rex begonias I've gotten so far are doing okay. I wouldn't say they're thriving. You know, that's one of the things about Rex begonia is they are a little bit challenging as well. They're gorgeous to look at, but for me, at least begonias haven't been the most easy plant for me to grow. You know, some plants grow better for others, and I'm not 100% sure if it's just my environment or if the plant just doesn't love me. Plant folies, have you ever just been in love with a plant or just had plants where like you really want to grow them, but you haven't been able to successfully let them like thrive in your home? Y'all leave that in the comments. I would love to learn about that. And that's the thing about this channel. It is very much a plant community based channel. Like I make daily 1-hour videos just because even if we are looking at some of the same plants or same locations, it is always nice to just be able to like chat with each other on the live premiere chats. I can't tell you guys enough how appreciative I am with just the engagement, but you know, that's one thing that will continue to drive me to make these plant shopping videos. And you can see right here, bonsais are coming up. So for those who don't know what bonsai are, basically bonsais are plants that are manicured and shaped into really miniature trees. You can make them from shrubs, trees, and they usually are in a shallow pot. The one we just picked up is a juniper. That one would need a little bit more trimming. This one is an interesting one. This one is an Ulma pulvis bonsai, which is basically a Chinese elm tree. You can see that they've wired it to give it a little bit more of a shape. I bought one, I think for like $16.99 at Walmart a little while back, repotted it, and it is starting to do well. You know, it's starting to push out some new leaves, and it's got some really nice curvature to it. So with bonsai, that is a totally different art. It is a art that is predominantly done in Japan, or what became very popular in Japanese history. Originally came from China, but bonsai basically means plant in pot. So you can see we've got a couple of these here. I don't know what this particular tree ID is, so if you know, please leave that in the comments. But it looks like, you know, Callaways also features bonsai. I have a couple of bonsai. That was actually one of what I got into is bonsais. Is I wasn't as into like aeroids or like tropical plants. I was more so into like bonsai trees. I really think that it's just a gorgeous art. Like you can see here, they've done some pre-wiring here, but this is definitely going to take a couple years to really get ramification, which is basically getting the leaves to be more refined with how small the leaves are. But you know, those are good starter plants for bonsai. So for those that are new to the channel or the plant folies, have you considered doing bonsai? Because that is another art form that would be, you know, something I would recommend. But let's just look at some more of the plants that they have right over here. What I love about Callaways is they just have such varieties of plants. This one though particularly doesn't have nearly as many bromeliads. I love seeing all of those pink bromeliads, the ones that just look like somebody spray painted it with like pink, you know, spray. But this one right over here, we've got some calatheas. These are in 6-inch starter planters. These are for $16.99. I don't know the particular calathea ID for this one, but what I do know is calatheas are about a finicky plant. But again, my discovery of just growing them in hydroponics or just straight water has really been successful for me. Like I definitely want to get a green goddess calathea to grow in hydroponics. And what I like about the pricing for the 4-inch planters at Callaways is they're only $6.99. And you know, they've got big plants like this as well. These are for $16.99, but I would go to Walmart and get those calatheas because they're the same size but for $14.97. So that's the thing, and this is the reason why I know most of you guys are more interested in the big box store plant shopping. I don't blame you just because it's more universal, but I do like to show you guys local plant nurseries in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I do have this new term called plant tourism, where when I have a little bit more time off, I will travel to different cities in the United States, maybe even outside of the country, to film some of their plant shops. I recently took a trip to Austin, so if you haven't already, please check out the Austin videos that I took at Tillery Street Company, and then also the Great Outdoors, as well as the Houston local nursery I did, which was Cultivar. That's a awesome rare plant shop. So those are all videos that I have in my playlist, so definitely check that out. But you can see here, pink plants, they've got them here at Callaways. I've shown you this before, polka dot plants. I actually was inspired to pick up a polka dot plant today. You can see this one has some new growth. I just haven't figured out how to grow polka dot plants long term. They tend to get crispy if you overwater them, but if you underwater them, they also get crispy. So I don't know the happy medium for them. And here we've got some Riger begonias. So this one's for $16.99 in a 6-inch starter planter. So the thing I've learned about begonias is, before I used to just think begonias were grown because of the leaves, you know, the foliage, the colors of the leaves, the texture of the leaves, but didn't realize that begonias are actually grown also for their flowers. They've got some more flowering varieties, and I recently discovered that, you know, shopping at Callaways Nursery. I've been shopping at Callaways Nursery locations for about 5 years now, and they have the best plants. I love that, you know, you can you know, find a particular plant and they typically have it, and they just have lots of varieties. I mean, look at all of these gorgeous pink plants. And then here's another pink plant, Tradescanthia Nanook, in a 4-inch starter planter. That one is for $9.99. Love that one. I bought one actually from Callaways. It's doing very well. But look at how precious these pink blooms are on that Riger begonia. So really enjoying this. Again, I asked this question before. Do you guys just go plant shopping, quote plant shopping, as in you go to a store and just look at plants? There is something about plants, just looking at plants, it's so therapeutic, and I just love it. And you know, we talk about begonias and their flowers. Check this one out, and I actually regret not picking up this one, this mocha pink shades non-stop blooming begonia. Look at that. What do you think about that flower? And look at the leaves too, dark foliage leaves. They got that angel wing look about it. I definitely am gonna buy the pink version. I bought a red one because it looks like you know, roses, and these ones can get up to about, you know, 2 feet tall. I did talk to the person that is, you know, in charge of this area, and they said that you can grow these. Look at that yellow one, for instance, gorgeous looking one. But you can grow these particular begonias indoors as well. You know, whenever it says that they need partial shade, that basically means you can grow them indoors. I would love to be able to grow these long term. Could you imagine having a begonia full of blooms? That's amazing. And you know, that's something that excites me. I used to not think about growing, you know, flowering plants indoors. And check out that peacock right there. That's really cool. But now I am definitely going to do that. This is so cool just because I love the dark foliage on it. This almost looks more like, you know, how thick it is. It looks more like a Rex begonia. But yes, that is something that I will definitely get into, and I will keep you guys posted. Another plant I wanted to show you are some coleus plants. So my family is from the Philippines, and in the Philippines, they call coleus plants Mayana plants. Now, I think these are awesome. Look at this one particularly. This one is one I will buy for sure. I'm thinking about getting a coleus plant, maybe 1 or 2 today, just because they're easy to take care of and they're easy to propagate. You can literally take a cutting and even bypass having to put it in water. You can literally stick that cutting into soil and it will root. These are fairly vigorous growers. They're very versatile, so they can either stay in the shade or in you know, the sun. Now, if you're going to grow coleus in the sun, the only thing about this plant is it's a very thirsty plant, so you definitely need to stay on top of the watering. But the, you know, the positive side about growing these in like full sun or a lot of light is you get the best coloration on the plants. Like, I mean, look at that one right here. That is awesome. That is a plant that I would like to get. Now, for those who don't know a lot about those coleus, definitely do your research because they're easy to grow. And then this is another cool one, white edge Swedish ivy. This one is the biggest one I've seen so far. You can see that this particular shoot you can chop up and actually put in like water and it will easily root. I bought one starter plant at another Callaways, and I intend to like grow it in a bigger pot and let it grow, propagate it, and see if I can actually grow this indoors as well. I have a green and yellow version that I bought at HEB, which is another local Texas grocery store. And we have right here a Pilea macrophylla, or an artillery plant. This one is really interesting too, because when you think of Pilea plants, you think of plants that have bigger leaves and mostly like aluminum or gray color. But this one has really got some delicate tiny leaves. And then over here, we've got some more spring cactus. So I might actually get a spring cactus. I don't have any type of like flowering cactus right here. And I think it's what, $7.99. That is not a bad price at all. I'm thinking of getting maybe a pink one or an orange one. Those are really cool. And you know, with all of them, they've got Thanksgiving cactus, they've got Christmas cactus, and now they've got spring cactus. So it's basically pretty much the same plant, but their blooming times are different. So these ones obviously bloom in the spring. And then we've got a bunch of impatiens right here, more flowering plants. And I'm showing you guys a lot more outdoor gardening plants, because I know that a lot of you guys might be more so into indoor tropical plants, but it's always nice to look at other plants and be exposed to that. Like right over here, we've got another Hydra helix, or a Hedera helix English ivy. This one's just a green variety. And I did talk to, you know, the staff there, and they said that, you know, English ivies are really meant to grow outdoors. If you let them climb up a wall, they'll just kind of stick to them. But I want to be able to grow them successfully indoors. I've got 2 so far. They're doing well. They're right next to a humidifier. I sprayed the English ivy with a neem oil homemade spray that I do. So it's basically a spray bottle. I put 2 tablespoons of rubbing alcohol, 2 tablespoons of hydrogen peroxide, 2 tablespoons of cold pressed neem oil, 1 drop of dishwashing soap, dish soap, and then just shake it up, spray it with the water, and it's good to go. It's really gotten rid of a lot of my pests. And this one I think is what coleus I'm going to buy. I thought it was a flower, but it looks like it's just a really interesting coleus. This is a Coleus Golden Gate. And you can see there's different coloration and varieties. I'm going to look for one that's a little bit more full. But I think this year, you know, there was one year where I was all about caladiums growing outside. I think I'm going to grow more coleus plants, because if you haven't seen the 2 short video clips that I uploaded to the channel, it was my grandmother who is literally the source of inspiration for me to just grow plants in general. She showed me how to take care of plants as a kid. She took like starter plants like this, and within 1 season, she was able to fill her entire backyard with just propagations of the same coleus plants. So I definitely want to gift her a couple when I visit her out in North Houston. She just got back from the Philippines. And, you know, if you haven't already, please check out that short video of my grandmother and how she propagates coleus plants. I eventually, if you guys want to see me do an interview or film her house plants, I will definitely do that. If you guys are interested, please leave that in the comments. But you can see they've got a lot of plants here. This one is a really nice looking coleus plant right here, and you can see that, and it's not a bad price at all. It's interesting to buy coleus plants because they would be easy to multiply. I do like this variety because it's got some like green edging on the leaves, and then it's just got that that dark purple look about it. Dark foliage plants are amazing. There was an Instagram page where this lady from Sweden, I think, grows coleus plants, but what she does is she grows them to be like trees, and that's something that I would like to do. I didn't realize you can actually grow coleus indoors, so that's one thing I would like to be able to do, is grow them indoors, or maybe get a nice looking tree out of it by just pinching back or getting rid of the bottom leaves and letting the stems harden. They can actually get woody, so that's something I will eventually try to do with some of my coleus plants. But that one coleus that I showed you earlier that looked more like a marigold flowers, I'm gonna buy that today. I just have to see which one I want to take home. But You can see they've got tons and tons of plants here. Even if this particular Callaways isn't as large, I do appreciate the fact that they still have a lot of plants to choose from. I am going to venture out in the outdoor section in a little bit. Even if it is pouring rain, you know, I will go rain, shine, whatever, as long as I can get you guys some plant content and something to premiere daily. I try to get you guys videos by 7, maybe 8. The latest would be 9. I try not to do 9 just because I feel like everybody goes to bed around that time. But you can see we've got some string of turtles, a bunch of succulents right over here. I haven't gotten the succulent bug or the cacti bug yet, so no succulents or cactus for me. I only have one succulent, and that is a variegated jade plant that I made into a bonsai tree, and it is doing fabulous for me. I have yet to wire it. I got to get some bonsai wire actually, and you can see like right over here, look at how prickly these needles are. That is crazy. I would just I wouldn't even know how to like repot that once it gets larger. Some people say use some tongs or use some really heavy duty gloves. I would just be afraid of just getting, you know, pricked by them. Those are really sharp thorns. But you know, cactus are really nice. I just wish it didn't freeze over out in North Dallas to where we could like grow them in our landscapes. But like right over here, you can see this one is a grafted cactus right here. They put another one on top of this cactus, and the prices aren't bad. And that's the thing about Callaways. They might be slightly expensive on certain plants as compared to a big box store, but you can get plants like this. Like for instance, this China doll plant is for $19.99. This big 10-inch planter. Look at how nice and full this China doll plant is. What I did discover is if you underwater them, they will get very unhappy and start to crisp up. So that is the only drawback for that. I quickly learned my lesson, so I have to make sure that that one remains fairly moist. And then I don't know what this plant is. It almost looks like a coffee plant, but it's not. But I did want to show you guys this. Look at how gorgeous this cordyline plant is. This one is another variety that I'm not 100% sure what it is, but look at how nice that like variegation is. It's not the typical pink purple tones. This one's got green and pink and like a subtle yellow. It's just got a bright looking color about it that I really like. I would love to grow some more cordyline plants. My grandmother is able to go propagate those and multiply them as well. In the Philippines, they call them tea plants, and I really do like that look. And then we're just going to be looking at all these assorted ferns. Right over here, we've got a bunch of snake plants or Sansevieria. They've got different varieties right over here. I recently got a small Sansevieria to put in a darker space in my home. You know, with Sansevierias or snake plants, they can tolerate really low light conditions. They don't need to be watered as much. Actually, overwatering will kill them because it'll rot their stems and roots. And the same thing with ZZ plants. So like, I feel like ZZ plants are underrated as well. I think a lot of people think they're very basic plants, but you know, it's a plant that's consistent. And then this one is interesting. This one is a little bit more sun stressed for my liking. That is a Philodendron ring of fire. And then we've got some Philodendron goldie eyes right over here. Goldie eyes can get really large. And then we've got some Philodendron brantianums. I love the silvery foliage. Those are for $19.99 in a 4-inch starter planter. And then what else do we have right over here? Some more Philodendron heteroecium Brazils. Tons and tons of them. I ended up buying a 4-inch planter from Callaways at another location just so I can see if I can get it to trail. And then we've got a lot of Epipremnum aureum golden pothos right over here. If you are new to houseplants, like this one right here is a 6-inch planter for only $16.99. That is not a bad price at all. That one is super thick and full. And you know, golden pothos, especially these ones, are pretty good variegation. They're very easy to take care of, and what makes them fun is you can actually propagate them very easily in water. And then they got some more Epipremnum aureums right here. These ones are the pearl and jades, and then also some marble queen pothos. And look at that, it says product of Canada for $16.99. So shout out to all of my Canadian plant foldies. You know who you are. You guys are always on the live premiere chats. You guys actually have a very strong community on the grow folds. I don't know why you guys aren't getting as many plants as we are showing you here. I mean, these are plants that were imported from Canada. I hope that y'all's big box stores and local plant nurseries will provide you guys with gorgeous plants like this, because these are from Canada. You can see that gorgeous looking Marble Queen Pothos. And then this one is an Epipremna Aureum Golden Pothos, but it's growing up a pole. And you can see, this one's for $19.99. If you grow a pothos, any type of pothos up a pole, the leaves will get larger and larger. And if you haven't seen my Plant Keeper Incorporated nursery tour, which is another local plant nursery, check that out and you will see how huge pothos plants are. You'll actually see a beautiful urban jungle in the heart of Dallas. It's one of those like local plant nurseries that is very underrated. I would hope that you guys can see that. And then we've got a lot more plants right here. Like, look at this beautiful Epipremna Aureum Neon Pothos. Love this a lot. This one's product of Canada, $6.99. Not a bad price at all. And you can see that there is another leaf unfurl about to come out, and we've got some pearls and jade. Now with the more highly variegated pothos like this, especially this one, pearls and jade, Enjoy Pothos is probably the slowest growing pothos. Those are a little bit slower growing and they have smaller leaves as compared to like the neon pothos, the jade pothos, the golden pothos. And then we're going to pass by a bunch of these ZZ plants. We've got Raven ZZs right here. Gorgeous, gorgeous looking plant. I didn't realize how easy, and actually it's fairly a fast grower. And then we got some more Sansevierias right over here, or snake plants. So really like that. I ended up buying a snake plant like this size right there in a 2-inch starter planter. I think that would be super cool. And updates, I was able to get my plant room under in order. I was able to get the shelves there, move a bunch of plants. I've got some grow light installations going. So I am so excited that I eventually will be able to show you my plant collection. If you want to see my plant collection, guys, make sure you are hitting the like button for this video. I know I ask often, but it really does help. We've seen people, like 60 people watching the video live, but we only have like 29 likes. So please make sure you are hitting the like if you're watching this video. It's one way to just really support me. And, it's just something that I hope that my viewers and subscribers can help me out with. And then right over here, we've got a fern that I'm actually curious and even interested to bring into my home. This is a Boston Tiger Stripes fern, 6-inch planter for $16.99. And what I like about it is the leaves are more yellow, but also variegated. Like this one has a little bit more variegation. Look at that. Look at how gorgeous that is, having a variegated Boston fern. Now, I don't know too much about Boston fern, taking care of them, but what I do know is this particular one, this maidenhair fern for $6.99, is a very challenging fern because it does require a lot more humidity. I mean, those are better in like terrariums. And you can see there's just more maidenhair ferns right here. They're gorgeous though. It's just they're a little bit more finicky of a fern. And, I'm not sure what this fern is right here, but look at how delicate looking the fern look. But I love that green about it. With these ferns, like I think these ones are like the black rabbitfoot fern. That is another one I would add to my collection. Really nice, delicate looking leaves, and then just the greenery around it. I do want to show you these gorgeous looking Dracaenas and more cordyline or Hawaiian tea plants. And then we've got a Rufus palm right over there. But look at how gorgeous these cordyline tea plants are. Now with these plants, they are best grown outdoors. And same thing with coleus plants. These are starter coleus plants. These ones are only for $2.49. That is not a bad price at all. What I love about coleus plants is they do come in many shapes, sizes, and variety of colors. They're really nice. And I am interested in getting some more unique versions. Like this one is going to go home with me. I like this because out of all the coleus plants, this one has that orange tone that I don't typically see, and and I just like it a lot. I'm hoping that I can grow it. They're pretty fast growers, and I'm hoping that by the end of the season, I will have so many propagations, kind of like how my grandmother was able to multiply them. I really like the look of these coleus plants, and we'll just see how it goes. It's interesting to see how these plants will grow for me. And then we're just going to look at all of these pre-bonsai jades. So pre-bonsai means that these plants are basically ready to be put in a shallow pot. They're not quite bonsai yet because there hasn't been a lot of like trimming and shaping, but all of these plants are not a bad price at all. Like this one is for $6.99. This one could be made into like a broom style type bonsai where it's basically like a rounder shape canopy. And I do like that the variegation is there. And I also like the fact that this particular jade has smaller leaves as compared to like the typical jade that you would see. And they've got many varieties. Now they have ones that are a little bit more defined and have a little bit more stems to work with. Those are for $12.99. That's the one I ended up buying. And you can see right here, they've got some more succulents. I'm going to go ahead and move this one back to its location, but that one is for $6.99. When I think of like jade bonsai, I think of the little jade bonsai Instagram. He actually inspires me. If you haven't checked it out already, definitely check it out. And plant foldies, or for any new viewers or subscribers that haven't already and have Instagram, please follow me on Instagram at Growfold. That is the fastest way to connect with me directly. Feel free to send me a direct message. I respond to everybody. And like I said, I love interacting with you guys. Right over here, we've got some more syngoniums. So I think Callaways has some good pricing. $6.99 for these syngoniums. Like this one looks like a syngonium bold illusion. Like look at how large the leaves are. Love that faint pink veining. And this one you can actually chop up and propagate. Syngoniums are so easy to propagate. Like they root fairly quickly and you can multiply them. So that's the reason why, like whenever I look at rare syngoniums, like maybe a strawberry ice or syngonium scrambled eggs, they're still a little bit pricey. But for me, it's tough for me to buy a syngonium and spend that much money. I say that I'm being a hypocrite because about 3 years ago, I ended up buying a syngonium one leaf cutting, a syngonium Panda Galaxy for like $200. So lesson learned, whenever you think about plants, no matter what, if you just wait a little bit longer, they always reduce in price. And the Monstera Thai Constellation is a prime example of price reduction. So now they're pretty much available at local plant nurseries, grocery stores, potentially big box stores. I can't wait to find it at a Lowe's. Apparently in Humboldt, Texas, they had them at Lowe's for $124, but that one's $89.99. But I remember Thai Constellations like 3 to 4 years ago were in the hundreds, and now they are a little bit more available. Obviously, they are not going to get down to the price of like a regular green Monstera deliciosa, but needless to say, any plant that you see, as they become more available, their price reduces. And you can see right here my favorite plants, these aglaonemas. Look at how large these aglaonema silver bays are. Like I kind of want to just get one of these large aglaonema silver bays. I know people say that they're basic, but they're going to work out for me. And then over here, we've got some more aglaonema red kings. These ones aren't doing well because I feel like they are overwatered. That's the thing that you can do to really hurt an aglaonema, is overwatering them. When they're overwatered, they start to drop their leaves because their roots rot fairly easily. So just make sure that you are mindful of that. I am going to walk over here and show you guys a little bit of Hoyas. So this Callaways doesn't have nearly as many Hoyas, but this one is another Hoya carnosa. I believe this is a Crimson Queen for $19.99. I do like Hoyas. I want to get more Hoyas. I want to get like a Hoya curtsii, for instance. Look at how gorgeous that is. I saw a bunch of really cool Hoyas at a bunch of like Austin plant nurseries. And mind you, Austin, Texas has some really amazing nurseries. So I would recommend checking that out, as well as Houston, Texas. So I am happy to see that there's a lot of plant communities all over Texas. Dallas is a very strong one as well. And you can see here is another Hydra Helix. This Hedera Helix English Ivy is for $2.99. Look at the variegation on that. And I have a love-hate relationship with English Ivies. Like if I could collect all the English Ivy varieties, I probably would have like 20 of them. But the thing is, I already know that it takes so much work to take care of English Ivies. Now this one right here is an easy to care for plant, an aluminum plant or a Palea plant. Love that. And we've got some more variegated string of hearts. Now these 2-inch starters are for $9.99, but these are easy to propagate and multiply as well. I've actually tinkered about whether I should buy a variegated string of hearts. What's really cool is if you give it a lot of light, their edges of their leaves actually get a lot more pink. So that's cool, when you sun stress it. But I also want to get a variegated string of pearls. When I think of pearls, I think of my home country, the Philippines, where pearls is just such a gorgeous looking piece of jewelry. It's very elegant, and I do like the variegated version of string of pearls. I think those are cool, plus the string of hearts. So something I might eventually get. I don't have a lot of like hanging basket plants. I've started to add them because I've been able to like you know, hang them indoors, but now that it's warm enough, I have like a couple of hanging baskets in my back patio as well. And what else do we have here? We're just gonna walk over here, and I'm just gonna show you a couple more plants before I end this video. I do love, you know, going to different Callaways nurseries, so be prepared to see me feature those. We'll see if they get even more restocks, because apparently they're getting like trucks of plants every single day, so that's going to be interesting. And I do like those like cranes right there. But here are some more coleus plants. This one is really cool. This one is a coleus chipotle. Look at that. Look at how cool the leaves are. They're kind of irregular. They look very dainty, but needless to say, what a nice looking one. And I do like the neon one as well. Can you imagine putting this neon one right next to like a really dark foliage plant, like another purple coleus plant or something? Leave it in the comments if you are interested in growing calatheas, what your care tips are. Would love to know. And we've got a bunch of wax begonias right over here. So more begonias, more plants right here. I'm glad that there are not as many people in the nursery. It makes it easier for me to just film videos. I like to also show you like wide shots like this versus just like close-ups of plants. Let me know in the comments what other plants you want me to feature. I'm always open for feedback, and I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the content that you guys want to watch. Right over here, we've got some more begonias right here, and these are the flowering begonias. I actually bought these ones because I like how narrow these angel wing type leaves are. And then we have some more wax begonias right over here. These were ones that I actually bought at Walmart that need to be potted up in a bigger pot, just because I want to grow the blooms. Look at how gorgeous the chocolate looking leaves are. But anyways, these begonias are amazing. I mean, you can see right here, these are all-star begonias. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. And then the red cascading blooms are gorgeous as well. So let me know in the comments if you guys have grown wax begonias successfully indoors. Do you collect them? These are plants that I've just recently gotten into this year. And I just love the fact that I have been able to just do daily plant videos. I might miss a day or two, but for the most part, if you want to go join a community where, you know, we have 1 hour plant shopping videos, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel so you can see more of these. But look at that. Look at how gorgeous these blooms are. Absolutely stunning. And I like the fact that begonias come in so many varieties. So we're gonna see if I can get some more of these begonias available. But as you guys can see, it's already been a lot of people have already started to buy up these plants. You can see there's a bunch of marigolds, very easy flowering plant. You can actually make some marigold tea. I may just grow them directly from seed since I have a bunch. And the one thing about marigolds is make sure you're not fertilizing them with a high nitrogen fertilizer. Otherwise, you'll get more leaves versus blooms. And I'm going to walk over here and try to decide which coleus Golden Gate I want to take home. Should I get this one or the one on the right that has a little bit more darker foliage leaves? Leave it in the comments on, let me know which one would you get. Would you get the one on the left or the one on the right? But anyways, I am going to walk over outside, and it is raining pretty hard just because I want to show you some more of their outdoor plants. There's a couple of plants I actually just wanted to like expose you guys to and show you. They've got a lot of, you know, annual plants that you can get right over here. And what else do we have? Just lots of cool looking plants. We've got a bunch of hostas, and thank you to the plant foldies that have given me insights on hostas. I would love to be able to grow hostas in my collection. And you can see here, look, there is another coleus plant. This one is super cool as well. This is the chipotle plant. This one has more purple in it, or like burgundy color. Really like that, right next to the neon colors. And then we've got some more flowering plants right over here. And that's the thing about Callaways. They have endless amounts of plants. They've got healthy plants. They're fairly priced. So I highly recommend anybody that goes to the Dallas, Fort Worth area to check out a Callaways if you can't get to a local plant nursery. These are readily available. So many locations. And you can see you've got a lot of outdoor landscaping garden plants. These purple are bushes are called Chinese fringe bush plants. I used to have them, and you can see in the spring they actually bloom. And then they've got some topiaries of boxwood, and my favorite, these azaleas. So they've got encore azaleas. Love azaleas. I just wish I could grow them successfully. I've got 2 Satsuki azaleas growing in my backyard, but you know, azaleas are another plant that I have a love-hate relationship. It's very similar to a Hydra helix, actually. They're just a little bit finicky for me, but I am going to buy this plant. This Fatsa japonica camouflage. Look at how awesome that green on green variegation is. This is a hard to find Japanese Aralia, and you can grow these indoors. I definitely want to grow this outside, but overwinter them. And they just make really nice looking plants. Look at this Fatsa japonica spider's web. Look at that variegation right over there. Absolutely stunning. Love me some Japanese Aralia. And then we just have the green Aralias right over here, just the Fatsa japonica. I did find them a little bit more less expensive at HEB. So if I want just a green version, I'll do that. But the camouflage one, I think is for $59.99. I'm going to go ahead and buy that one just because it's a plant that I saw last time and I regret not getting it. Another plant I will buy eventually is a large Philodendron Bellitiae. I think it was like for $49.99 or something of that nature, and that is a large philodendron that I want. I do want to walk over here and just show you these very elegant, very gorgeous looking Japanese maples, so you can see that they have really started to unfurl their leaves. Look at these ones. These ones are more of the lace leaf types, the cascading types. Look at how elegant the leaves are. I wish we had the very consistent weather of the West Coast. In Texas, it is very challenging to grow Japanese maples because when they're in heat and it gets really hot, over 100 degrees, no matter how much watering you do, those leaves will start to crisp up and burn. They also can tolerate really full sun, but that's the only drawback about living down south is just, you know, the weather, especially the heat. It's crazy. I'm glad that we don't have like really, really cold weather like up north, but this is a Japanese maple I would love to have. You know, my dream is to really have a full-blown Japanese garden. And every time I go to Callaways, I look at plants like this. It's like cascading peach tree. It's still got its blooms. So gorgeous. I have 2 peach trees in my backyard and they bloomed and they were so gorgeous. And then we have some Japanese maples here. Just more ornamental shrubs and bushes, trees. Like I really like this one right here. Love that yellow variegation that it has. I have that growing actually in my front yard as well. And just look at that. Gorgeous looking Japanese maples. I love that deep red. And then they come in so many varieties. I will be going to Fort Worth at some point to a Japanese maple nursery called Metro Maple. So please stay tuned to check out that video. I'm going to feature a bunch of rare Japanese maples and ginkgo trees. And as always, guys, I'm about to end this video, but please make sure if you haven't already, pause this video, hit the like button, leave a comment for me. I would love to hear from y'all. And, you know, as always, this is Richie at Grow Folds. Please subscribe to my channel and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's off of Preston Road in Frisco, Texas. So it is a rainy afternoon. I just got off of work, but I felt like I wanted to go ahead and get a video ready for you guys. So I've been taking a lot of videos at Lowe's just because Lowe's has been restocking a lot of their plants, and you can see right over here, look at these gorgeous assorted tropical plants. So hopefully I can show you guys a lot of really good looking plants, from outdoor plants to indoor tropicals. And you can see right here, we've got a bunch of true bloom roses. I love roses. I used to have a rose garden, variegated roses specifically, and we've got a bunch of those, but it's really been sporadic in terms of the weather out here in North Dallas, which is where I am based at. So we're going to be going through some rain, but I don't mind doing that because I like to give you guys 1 hour plant shopping videos daily. And I did want to show you this. Look at these, lifted boxes for planting, and then you can see there's a bunch of herbs and vegetables, and just more plants outside. Now, if you haven't already, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video and also subscribing to my channel. I make these 1-hour daily plant shopping videos, and I would really like for you to join my community. I call my viewers plant foldies just because this used to be an origami channel that has switched over to plants. But you can see right off the bat, we've got a lot of gorgeous looking plants here. We've got some bougainvilleas. We got these pink jasmine right here. And I've had a couple of viewers and subscribers tell me that they want to get this pink jasmine. Heck, I might want to even get a pink jasmine. I didn't really see how beautiful this plant is, but you know, it's one of those plants that you don't really discover until you start looking at plants. I've never really known a lot about these pink jasmine, but it looks very nice. And this pink jasmine is only for $29.98, and it's already on a totem pole or something to just support it growing up. So that's really nice. I wanted to pan over here and show you the beautiful petunias they've got available. It is amazing how petunias have become hybridized, and they've got so many different types of petunias. Now these are for $9.98. With petunias, they've got some very miniature ones. I know Proven Winners has a Supertunia section, and I wanted to show you this as well. So if you live in North Dallas or just Dallas in general, for $18.88 you can get lantana. So lantana are just pretty much hardy perennials. They bloom profusely, and they can tolerate very dry drought situations, as well as very cold weather. So for the extreme weather that we get out in North Dallas or in Texas in general, lantanas are a good plant to plant in your landscape. They come back every year, they clump, they spread, they do a lot of things, and they just make your areas look beautiful. It is really wet out here, and luckily it's not raining too hard, but I also wanted to show you the entrance of this Lowe's. You can see here we've got some marigolds, and you know, marigolds are a flower that reminds me of my childhood, just because I remember growing marigolds from seed and I was able to get them to bloom. Marigolds, you can definitely harvest seeds from them very easily, and I do want to grow marigolds at some point just because I want to make marigold tea. And I have always been able to feature a bunch of these Calanchoe. It's really interesting, plant foldies and just folks that are watching this video, how some of my plant recommendations and just me showing you guys plants have influenced you to buy plants. I am actually interested in getting Calanchoe as well, just because they're readily available. But as you can see, I am entering the outdoor section. I just felt like I've been doing a lot of indoor plants, and now that spring has arrived, it is day 2 for spring. I wanted to show you guys all of the plants that you can grow outdoors. I did find a couple of purple plants that are really meant for outdoors that I intend to grow outdoors. I got me a Persian shield, I've got a variegated ajuga, and a variegated lily boat. So basically it's an oyster plant. But anyways, I will show you those in just a bit. You can see right here, we've got a bunch of tropical landscape plants. So Lowe's has a bunch of these alocasia. I think these are the portulas alocasia. They can get very large. Now with alocasia, they can do very well outdoors. I know that whenever I take my alocasia outside, they just tend to do better. Now they would just need a little bit more bright indirect light versus just full sun, because I'm not sure if they can tolerate that type of weather. And then we just have a bunch of other tropical plants here. Now this is really interesting. This is by Monrova, and I'm just going to show you this right there. Look at that variegation and the coloration of this plant. It looks like more of a succulent, and it's lovely. And then we've got some more plants right here. Look at that variegation. And I'm going to show you guys all of these hibiscus. Love me some hibiscus flowers. I think hibiscus are one of the more tropical flowers that, you know, you associate tropical environments at. And we've just got more tropical plants right over here. We've got a bunch of Croton petras. These are for $19.98. You know that if you watch my videos on the daily basis, you will see crotons. You know, crotons are a love-hate for most people. I love them, but they hate me because they can be a very finicky plant unless they're grown outdoors. And you can see they've got more tropical plants here. Look at all of these crotons for $19.98. This is not bad at all. And with the sun, just with all the nice weather we've been getting, except today it is raining, but you know, rain is good for your plants. Like, I'm not sure if you're one of those plant growers that take buckets to go fill up rain water and then water your plants. I need to be doing better than that. You know, I tend to just water my plants with tap water, except for my calatheas. I definitely make sure that I get like distilled or purified water. And right over here, we are looking at some gorgeous looking variegated ginger. I've tried to grow variegated ginger indoors. They just didn't do very well for me. I might attempt again because, you know, sometimes you just learn a little bit more of what the plant needs. And I am walking over here. Now we are looking at a bunch of Encore azaleas. So in my previous videos, I talk about, you know, loving having a Japanese garden. I've been working on my Japanese garden for quite a few years now, still waiting for a couple of trees to really get large so I can get more shade and I would be able to grow some more azaleas. I haven't had the best luck with Encore azaleas. It seems like every year I try to plant them in the ground, but I think it just gets too hot. And the thing about azaleas is you really need to keep the azalea roots moist, and they never really want to dry out. They're not very drought tolerant, so that is a problem for me as well. And you can see here we've got a bunch of mandevilla flowers. Look at that, gorgeous looking flowers. I never really paid attention to that specific plant until recently, just because I've been doing a lot of big box store plant shopping videos. And you can see right here, this is almost the end cycle for this Encore azalea bonfire, one of my favorite types of azaleas. It looks like the blooms are almost done, but you can see here when it is raining or when it is in the evening, it is much easier for me to film plant shopping videos because there's less traffic, there's less people out and about, and I could just freely walk around and show you guys plants. And you can see here, we've got a bunch of knockout roses. Love these roses. Knockout roses are very easy, and they're one of the types of roses that really produce a lot of blooms. I'd like to grow roses again just because I would like to make rose tea using the petals and the hips of the roses. It's interesting how Lowe's has a clearance section for indoor plants outside. I just think that, you know, these Scindapsus moonlight trubii, it's really tragic that these plants, I remember seeing them because I often go to the same big box stores just because they're in close proximity, how they come to the store all healthy, but give it a month or two later, they end up getting cycled out into the clearance section. So my suggestion is, if you are wanting to buy a plant, specifically at Lowe's, you can wait a little bit and you can see that this one right here is not a bad looking hanging basket of Syngonium Maria. You know, the original price is $16.98, but you can get it 50% off if you just wait for the plant to decline in health. So there is a trade-off with that. Now, whenever you buy clearance plants or plants that need to be rehabilitated, just know that that plant is probably carrying some pests, just because it's already unhealthy. And you know, unhealthy plants tend to be more susceptible to pests like mealybugs, thrifts, spider mites, you know, all of those nasty pests that really can mess up somebody's plant collection. Anyways, here are some more beautiful manicured juniper. That's another plant that you can put in your garden, especially if you're looking for a Japanese type garden where it's very simplistic. The forms and bushes are very much more manicured, and I do like that. And you can see they've got a lot of these shrubs already trimmed to where they're a little bit more refined. I really like that a lot. And I do like that that variegated bush right over there. What else do we have? Plant foliage. Let me know what kind of plants you guys enjoy to grow outdoors. And if you are still watching this video, stick around. I will be showing you a lot of indoor plants, some really cool plants at this location. But I want to show you some gardening things like this right here. Look at that. Gorgeous looking bush right there. I used to grow those in front of my yard. We ended up removing them just because they were too large, but I kind of regret doing that now because look at how gorgeous that purple leaf come out. I love dark foliage plants, purple plants, you know, almost black plants, just anything that has dark foliage. I really find that attractive. as well as neon type plants and more dark plants. So these are all creeping Jenny plants. I think this one is got the neon leaves, and look at that, that's really gorgeous. I don't know if you can actually grow these successfully indoors, but it looks like Lowe's has a bunch of hanging baskets, and they also have a bunch of gorgeous looking hostas. Now with hostas, I like these specifically because look at how neon the leaves are, and the leaves have a little bit of texture about it. Let me know in the comments if you've grown hostas indoors, or is that really an outdoor perennial that you really need to grow outdoors? I'm always curious to see what comments you plant folies my viewers are put, because I learn from you guys just as much as I like to talk about plants for about an hour. And truthfully, I'm surprised that you guys still continue to watch my videos daily. I know that I show you guys pretty much the same plants, but for me, this is almost like plant therapy, just walking around and showing you plants and talking about plants. So let me know in the comments if you join my plant community just because you want somebody to talk about plants. I'm just really curious what brings you guys to the channel. I want to continue to improve, and I just love showing you guys plants. Now, this is a plant I didn't see before, but this is one of those plants that I've seen as a Exotic Angels Costa Farms release. I can't really pronounce the name. It starts with an A, but look at that. I actually might buy this at some point to add to my purple plant collection. That one is for $4.98, and look at how gorgeous that is. It says full sun, but I'm not really sure if this is a full sun plant. This one has a little bit of leaf damage, but it's always nice to go to a big box store and look at plants that are really meant for outdoors and attempting to grow them indoors. Like this, for instance, here is our first Hydra Helix, or the correct way to say it is Hedera Helix, English ivy. This is the variegated Hydra Helix, and this is for $4.68. So obviously, it's interesting that English ivy are supposedly be marketed as an indoor plant, but when I talk to people that are in the nursery trade, they say that English ivy do really well only outdoors. So I don't know. You guys give me your thoughts on that. But for now, I will show you this gorgeous variegated potato vine for $4.98. Look at that pink right there. So I've actually tried to grow potato vines indoors, and the problem is whenever you grow them indoors, they tend to get spider mites. So it just has, there's a trend when it comes to plants that are meant to grow outdoors and you bring them indoors, the whole spider mite situation. So I'm not sure if it's just the way it is in terms of like outdoor plants needing to be outdoors, but this is a plant, for instance, that I would like to get. This is for $9.98. I talked about this before. This is some fuchsia plants. Gorgeous looking blooms. I do know that they need more like consistent temperament weather. They really can't deal well with like extreme heat and extreme cold, which are like recipes for Texas quintessential weather. But if you have like a place like Carmel by the Sea in California, when I first saw that plant, that's where it was, then you'll be able to grow plants like that. Now here is a gorgeous potato vine plant. This one is a dark purple, and this one is for $4.98. Again, this is another plant that I would love to add into my purple foliage collection. I might pull the trigger and actually try to grow a purple vine potato plant indoors. I'll do a little bit more research for that. Now these are easy to propagate, and like look at this one. This one has a cool leaf shape. This one almost has like a philodendron, like Florida beauty or Florida green type shape, but it's purple. So that's really cool. $4.98. I mean, I might risk losing a plant and spending $4.98, but let's just look at all of the gorgeous plants that they have available here. It's just nice to also listen to the rain noise. Now obviously I took that audio out because I am doing a voiceover as I talk about these plants, but this is one plant that I want to introduce to everybody here. Do you see how purple and gorgeous and shimmering, shining and splendid this Persian shield plant is? This is for $8.98. I absolutely love it. I have done some research on it. Obviously, you need some bright indirect light, but this is a plant that I would like to be able to grow and get really big and then possibly propagate and just have a bunch of cuttings to propagate. I think that these would easily propagate as well, but look at how gorgeous this this Persian shield plant is. Look at that texture and just look at how gorgeous the purple color is. $8.98 wasn't bad for it, and that's why I ended up buying this at Lowe's about 2 to 3 days ago. I repotted it in a better pot, but Lowe's typically has pretty much the same plants. Although it's interesting, when I went to Houston, North Houston, Texas, out in Conroe, Texas, they had some really cool plants. So I asked this question to anybody watching this video. If you have Lowe's, what plants have you found at your Lowe's or big box stores? Please leave that in the comments, or even if you're on the live premiere chat watching this live. Again, to those that continue to watch my videos live every evening, I really appreciate y'all. It's always exciting to see you guys on the live premiere chats. And if you are watching this like live now, don't be shy to say hello to the plant community we have. The plant foldies are full force. We have gotten to know each other. And if you haven't already, and I know that a lot of plant foldies in the live premiere chats will ask, please make sure you are hitting the like button on this video, as well as leaving comments after that you watch the video. I love reading your comments. I respond to every single comment. And if you don't have me on Instagram as well, add me on Instagram at GrowFolds. You can send me a direct message and we can correspond that way. I just love engaging with everybody that loves plants. The more the merrier. And you can see that all of the plants right here at this particular Lowe's are gorgeous. I like to show you guys also hydrangeas, and I've talked about hydrangeas. So hydrangeas definitely prefer more acidic soil, but it's interesting, the more acidic the soil is, or more pH, depending on what that chemical balance is, it really influences the colors of a hydrangea, whether it's more pink, more purple, or more blue. So I found that interesting, and I really hope that someday I'll be able to grow hydrangeas, in the landscape. But now we are going to go to the main event. We're going to walk indoors, and the first couple of plants right up the bat is we're going to look at this end cap for Wick and Grow, and you can see that gorgeous hanging basket right over here. This is by Live Trends. Now this is part of the Live Trends Cozy Cottage Planter Series. You can see they've got a gorgeous orange matte finish, and this is a nice Epipremnum aureum Marble Queen Pothos. Love Marble Queen Pothos. I just like variegated plants, but then again, I have this appreciation for green plants. So I'm kind of torn. Honestly, I just love plants in general. They bring me joy. And I did want to show you guys these. So these are all of the Wick and Grow self-watering planters. We talked about this on a couple of other videos I've done in the past. But what I like about Lowe's is that they have those ceramic planters, and we can go into more details on that, but I did want to show you this gorgeous Philodendron Heteroraceum Brazil. This one's starting to trail. Again, this is by Live Trends. I do like the new matte finishes on their ceramic planters. I just like matte finishes versus like glossy or glossy glazes for planters. I like that a lot. I think it gives it more of a modern contemporary look. And both plants right there I would take home because they're easy to care for plants and they're not really expensive either. And we're going to pan over here and I can show you a couple of these Costa Farms exotic angel plants. Now these are actually meant for self-watering planters. You can see right off the bat we've got a Fittonia right over here. I'm surprised that I haven't picked up a Fittonia, considering it is a pink plant and it is a plant that I see pretty much every day in person. And that's the crazy thing is, I work a job that requires me to work at least 9 to 10 hours. And it's just interesting that I can fit all of this time to edit videos, film videos, and still live life. So I don't know but I will say that this plant blogging and plant shopping videos have really given me just a platform to really connect lots of people from all over, not only in the United States, but also out in Canada and just wherever you guys are. So If you are watching this live video, leave in the comments where you're from or where you're watching from, or even on the live premiere chats. I would love a roll call indeed, just so I can get to know you guys. And if you're curious to see what that Syngonium was that I picked up, it was a Syngonium Cream Illusion. And I am baffled because this Syngonium right over here, actually this is labeled like Croton Petra, somebody just stuck that label, is actually labeled a Syngonium White Butterfly, but it doesn't look like a Syngonium White Butterfly because Syngonium White Butterfly has some type of variegation. If anything, this could be like a juvenile Syngonium Holly, but I honestly think this is like a Syngonium Mini Pixie. Anyways, more Fittonia plants here, and we've got some more exotic angel plants right over here. This is another starling Hydra Helix. This Hedera Helix English Ivy Starling Ivy is a gorgeous looking one. $5.48 is the cost of this particular ivy, and what I like about it is look at how narrow the leaves are. It's got such a different look about the English Ivy, and that's the only disappointing part when you look at English Ivy. They have so many varieties. Like, check this out. This is another Hydra Helix. This one is Hedera Helix Little Herman. I've seen this in hanging baskets. I've seen it in these 3.5 inch starter planters. And you can see right here, I'm going to show you a demonstration. So you can actually put that down here and voila. It's ready to go. You don't even have to worry about watering it because it has a string that pulls the water up the water reservoir, and you can see you can kind of change it up right here. Lowe's has these specific planters for just that, for that wick and grow, and all of the exotic angel plants have that little string right there. So it might be interesting, especially with Hedera Helix or Hydra Helix. Actually, there's another one right over there, but we're not going to say that. We're going to actually look at this Syngonium Pink Illusion. This one is for $7.98. This isn't a 5.5 inch planter. This is actually an interesting Syngonium to me because it looks like a simple Syngonium, right? Just a green color. But what I like about it is that red vein right in the middle. And you can see this plant is actually happy because it's about to unfurl a new leaf. Whenever you go big box store plant shopping, know that there is a high potential for some type of pests, and it's not because like Costa Farms has plants that have pests. It's not even about that. It's the fact that these plants may not necessarily get the best care conditions in a big box store. And you know, when you're not giving the best care condition for a big box store, these plants are more susceptible to getting pests. That's all I'm saying. Now here is another Hydra Helix. This Hedera Helix, let's just say the correct way, right? Hedera Helix, say it with me. Hedera Helix English Ivy. This one is the Gold Baby English Ivy. I am actually doing the Hedera Helix challenge where I am attempting to grow them indoors for a couple of months to see if they get spider mites. I have killed 12 English Ivies, and I know that we have been counting how many times I say Hydra Helix on the live premiere chats, but my thing about English Ivy is I just like it. I don't know if it's because of the colors, the variegation, the leaf shape, because they remind me of maples. I just want them to love me. I don't know if you've ever had plants where you like it so much, but for some reason you can't get it to grow. Leave it in the comments and let me know what you think. And I did pan over here because I wanted to show you the different types of soil I use. I use this specific brand right there for the bark. I don't use this tropical potting mix that supposedly has lava rocks because when I touched it, it felt like it wasn't chunky enough. So I can go into details about what I make for my soil mix, but you know, when you're growing plants in general, the normal like Miracle Grow potting soil is not the best soil because it retains way too much moisture and it can really heighten the potential of root rot. Anyways, here are some more plants right here, and it's interesting because I have visited this Lowe's location multiple times, and they constantly change their plant setup. What doesn't change though is that they have some really nice looking plants, like this Ficus lyrata right over here for $15.98 is also in a self-watering planter. I'm actually not having any issues with my fiddle fig leaf or Ficus lyrata. I got mine for 99 cents at Sprouts, which is another local grocery store out in Texas. And that's the thing. I will show you, you know, big box videos like Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, but the best places to get cheap plants are like grocery stores. Trust me, I will do some more videos. I've had some of the best inexpensive plants come from like Kroger, HEB, Trader Joe's, you name it. They've gotten me some good plants. But I did want to show you these Kokedama or Kokedama plants. These are bromeliads. They use coconut husk. And I like that a lot because then you're not having to pollute the planet by having more planters. Because you got to think, a lot of these plants don't make it to home. So what happens with all of the plastic planters? It's not a good situation. That's all I'm going to say. Now, I will say this about this Phalaenopsis orchid. I haven't seen this type of like shape for the blooms. But look at how this lavender color, it just looks so delicate and elegant. And I love it. These are for $14.98. Now these are sourced out by Costa Farms. I'm just impressed that Costa Farms has just had so many plants, and it just it just blows my mind to think how they can produce so many plants for so many big box stores all over the country and possibly even internationally. Now here is another cool Kokedama right here. This one is a bromeliad, and for those who are not familiar of what Kokedama are, Kokedama is basically the Japanese form of taking a plant and actually wrapping it around moss and growing it into a ball and then hanging it. That's all it is. I do like the aesthetics behind it. I would like to do a DIY Kokedama at some point, so we'll see about that, and maybe I'll feature it in a video. And in there we've got a Philodendron hederaceum, we've got some Dracaena warneckii, we've got a bunch of hanging planters. Again, I like that matte finish. Really good call on Live Trends and Urban Jungle. Keep that up, and you can see this is a really nice and organized Live Trends end cap. I know some places, some Lowe's aren't as organized, but I'll give this Lowe's credit. They do their very best to stay in stock and keep things organized. You can see that everything is pulled forward. Everything has some type of color story, and it's just really enticing for you to check this end cap. You can see right here, for instance, I really like this fixture. Now, when I talk about hydroponics, growing plants in hydroponics, this is what I'm talking about. So they've got a Dracaena, and you can see it's just literally growing in water. I like that concept, especially for calatheas or any plants that are highly thirsty. You don't have to worry about watering it as much. And with Dracaena, it's interesting that they use Dracaena for hydroponics because Dracaena are one of the types of plants that can actually tolerate, being underwatered and lower light conditions. So needless to say, it is a plant that I would recommend if you're watching my videos and you don't have a Dracaena. Please make sure you consider getting it. Same thing with aglaonemas. You know that I have that agenda just to get everybody on board with all of my favorite plants. And that is so cute, that little air plant setup. And then we've got some more air plants right here in this little carrier, this clear glass carrier. I really like that a lot. I kind of want to give Live Trends even more feedback about some of the planters that they're picking, because I feel like simple, less, you know how they say less is more, simple is best. I just think that, for instance, this one right here, okay, so I will say Live Trends did a really good job by making this stylish. So, as far as like a hydroponic situation, at least it's sitting on a stylish looking fixture. And this is Dracaena is actually a Dracaena Masangiana. So it's a cane big Dracaena, and I know that this will outgrow itself fairly soon, but for now you can see that the roots are happy. I love doing hydroponic plants. I think I want to do even more. The only trick is about hydroponic plants is when you convert them to just water, just know their health will decline because the roots are having to establish water roots. Here is a very cute looking Haworthia in Easter, I guess just an Easter theme planter by Live Trends again. And that's something that Live Trends does very well is they stay seasonally relevant, and I appreciate that. I also appreciate the fact that Live Trends likes to go produce plants that are healthy but are in stylish planters. I really do think that you might have like some gorgeous plants, but if you don't have that correct planter or the planter to put it in, it will either enhance the plant or de-enhance the plant, because there's a certain level that it takes away from the plant's aesthetics. Now here it's flat out telling you this is a self-watering planter, and we have a Sansevieria here. I like self-watering planters because it takes the guessing game out of having to water plants. And you can see right there is that little string wick that will pull that water up from the water reservoir. So for those that struggle with having consistency in like growing plants and watering plants, try self-watering planters. That would most likely solve a lot of your underwatering or overwatering tendencies. I know it has for me. And you can see they're even experimenting with these really cute looking air plants. And what else do we have here? We've got a ZZ plant right here. This is another Live Trends release, at least the new cozy cottage planters. I'm not really a fan of like the burlap or like the rattan base about it. I think they could have just gotten away with some really nice, simple matte finishes. Like that orange is nice and that light blue. And you can see there's just a bunch of like air plants. These ones are for $3.98. You can literally just set that, and then you have a living piece of, living piece right there on your desk. Now I wanted to pan over here and show you how this Lowe's actually maintains and keeps their plants striped or actually organized by like size, shape, genus. They've got all the aglaonemas lined up. For instance, this is an aglaonema green papaya. Costa Farms trending tropicals. Really like aglaonemas. They have given me a little bit of stress though, just because some of them got a little bit leggy and I didn't really like that, but we will see. Now with aglaonema, like this aglaonema pink cyan, this is another Costa Farms trending tropical plant. With aglaonemas, the worst thing you can do is overwater aglaonemas. Their roots will rot and they will either shed their leaves, and then you'll have to like try to propagate it and hope that it'll root. So I'm going to pan away from here, but you can see that this Lowe's, would you agree, is pretty full. Like I love the fact that they have a lot of plants to look at. And even if these are plants that we've seen repeatedly, I still like looking at them. Like I will pull up this like Ficus lyrata right here. This is for $15.98 in the self-watering planter. And honestly, that is not a bad price at all. Just because I remember like Ficus lyrata like 3 to 4 years ago was like the it plant, and it was more expensive than what they cost now. I do want to know the plant ID for this specific calathea, just because it's got some unique patterns on the leaves. It doesn't look like a typical calathea, and I really like that. What I also like about this plant is the fact that it is predominantly green across the board, and then the undersides are a little bit more translucent, so you can kind of see the patterns on the calathea. So I don't know what else to say about this Lowe's, in the fact that it is just super full. It has rained really hard as I filmed this video, and I'm just kind of taking shelter and just talking to you more about these plants. And if you've already made it this far and have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. It really does help engage my channel with other future plant foldies. I have seen as high as 85 people watching my live premiere chats, and to me that is insane. I am honored, I am humbled, but I'm hoping someday we can get like 100 people on the live premiere chats. That would be amazing. What else is amazing is the fact that I continue to run into bird's nest fern. Look at how large this bird's nest fern is. Now, if I am going to buy bird's nest fern, I'm going to have to go to HEB, because they sell their plants for, I think, $8.98 versus the $12.97 that Lowe's is selling these plants. But look at how large this bird's nest fern is. Yep, and you can see the price right there. These are 6-inch starter planters, and you can see this is a very healthy looking fern. I might end up buying a fern very soon. Give me like 2 to 3 weeks. We're gonna see. But I am still broke and trying to recover from having to buy so many plants. I mean, I did it to myself, guys, right? You can't blame yourself if you go to a store wanting to go quote plant shopping, or at least window plant shopping. It never really works that way. You'll find a plant that you're like, oh, I haven't seen it, and you feel like you're not gonna get it, so you end up buying it. What I like about this Lowe's as well is they get so many plants. So I was talking to one of their employees, and they mentioned that they just get pallets and pallets of plants. They've actually got some more plants out in the back room that just haven't gotten to the floor yet. So that's why I like to go to these places. And I also like to show you Hydra Helix. That is the saying. Say it with me, guys. Hydra Helix. I know that one of my Plant Foldy subscribers mentioned that he was wanting to say and use my audio when I say Hydra Helix for his notification bell, whatever it is. If you are subscribed to my channel, one thing that you need to do as well is make sure that the notification bell is on, so as soon as I upload a video or a live premiere chat's about to happen, you're immediately notified, so we can all hang out and chat on the live premiere chats. And you can see I am showing you another Hydra Helix. This is an English ivy, garland English ivy. I mean, look at how cool this is. Even though this is just a green variety, you can see that the leaves are a little bit more like trident maple looking leaves. And I think that's what attracts me to plants. You know, I find it interesting that as a plant grower or somebody who collects plants, we all have our preferences for plants, but I really think it becomes more of just a personalized journey for anybody who likes plants. Like, for instance, I like Hedera Helix because they remind me of maples. Maples remind me of bonsai. Bonsai is, something that I did as a kid, as a teenager, as somebody that was in college. And it just kind of, makes me reminisce on some of my personal interests. And that's why, for instance, you're looking at Calatheas. I like looking at Calatheas because Calatheas have some darker foliage leaves, and I like dark plants. What I also like is this gorgeous Epipremnum aria Mandula pothos. Now this one I would actually buy for myself. This one is for $16.98. Costa Farms Exotic Angels hanging basket, because this one is highly variegated. Now with Mandula pothos, and it's always hard for me to say pothos are rare, because really pothos can be propagated fairly easily. But again, Mandula pothos, for instance, is another pothos that is uncommon because you don't really see that a lot or offered a lot at like local plant nurseries. Even big box stores like Lowe's, you rarely see that. So I'm thankful that Costa Farms actually distributes Mandula pothos. Now one pothos that is very rare, not very rare, but rare, is the mutated mutant Mandula pothos. And then here is actually a really nice looking Philodendron Birkin. This one is actually highly variegated. Look at how white the leaves are on a Philodendron Birkin. I have a Philodendron Birkin actually in a hydroponic situation. I ended up buying it at Home Depot because Proven Winners has this like series called H2O bowls, and mine is still doing very well. But you can see that variegation really differs from different types of Philodendron Birkin. Like this Philodendron Birkin is starting to have some really nice variegation, but for the most part, a lot of the leaves are green as compared to the first Philodendron Birkin we got. Now those are all for $15.98. And then what else do we have here? We just have an ivy or a Hydra Helix. This Hedera Helix, or these pair of Hedera Helix, look pretty lush and full. Again, with English ivy, my tips for it would be make sure that you spray it first with a lot of neem oil or an insecticidal soap. Make sure that you don't overwater it. They actually thrive better when you don't water them as often. And if you can, grow them near a humidifier, and once a week spray them with a little bit of neem oil, and they won't get spider mites, and you might have a chance on keeping them alive indoors. At least I'm speaking from experience, because I've had my Hedera Helix for about a month and a half, and To my surprise, lucky number 13 and 14, they have not gotten spider mites. And here I just pulled this down is a gorgeous looking Epipremnum aureum pearls in jade. So this is not the enjoy that a lot of times, you know, people might mistaking it for. This is the pearls in jade. And the reason why this is the pearls in jade is because pearls in jade has a little bit more gradation, a little bit more splotchiness in their variegation versus the enjoy where it's like cream or white variegation and green. There's no like minty undertones or even splotching. It's literally just a bunch of like very sectoral variegation. Now this is the bigger hanging basket. That one's for $20.98 by Costa Farms. I don't have any pearls in jade at the moment, but that is another pothos that I most likely will pick up this season. I plan on doing a bunch of cuttings of pothos plants and sticking them all together in one big bowl or just one big planter just to have a combination. Same thing with these Philodendron heteroraceum. This one is the Brazil. Look at that gorgeous looking plant. This one looks very healthy. This one's for $20.98. I do like Philodendron heteroraceum Brazil. I have a Philodendron heteroraceum Rio. I would love to get a Philodendron heteroraceum Gabby, but that is quite expensive still. And I don't know, for those plants that are easy to propagate, I really can't justify spending that type of money for that plant. So we'll see. You know, plant prices always go down no matter what. It just takes a little time. And you can see here, for instance, we've got a gorgeous looking Syngonium right here. This one is for $7.98 since it's in a larger planter. Or actually, no, that's for $5.48. Sorry, these are the 3-inch planters, Exotic Angels. And you can see the gorgeous pink here. Syngoniums are very endearing to me just because they were my favorite plant. They might end up being my favorite plant again just because aglaonemas are just giving me a little bit of some pain points. But either way, love plants, love pink plants. Let me know in the comments if you also collect pink plants. I wish I could collect pink plants, purple plants, dark foliage plants, and highly variegated plants. I will take all of the plants I can get. And you can see right over here, Dieffenbachia. So 2 days ago, I found a Trending Tropicals Dieffenbachia Cool Beauty. So if you haven't seen my video where I feature that, please do. I think it's like in my past videos. There's just a lot of videos. So for those that are just finding my plant videos, this channel, you can go through a bunch of the playlists and really binge my content if that's what you choose to, because you can listen to me talk about plants for hours and hours, and I don't mind that at all. Like, look at this. Here is a Dieffenbachia Camille. I like this Dieffenbachia because look at how light that variegation is in the middle. And this is for $12.98. I bet you if I go to HEB, which is a local grocery store out in Texas that predominantly sources its products from Texas, I could probably find that same Costa Farms 6-inch planter for $8.98 versus $12.97. So again, if you are in a metropolitan area like Dallas, check out all of your plants. Check out your places that you can buy plants, because you'd be surprised about the differences in pricing. If I'm going to go for something relatively inexpensive, I definitely would choose a big box store. Like if I'm looking for, you know, buying something like this Maidenhair Fern, or this is the Rose Maidenhair Fern, and I wasn't too keen about whether I'm going to kill it or not, I would definitely go to a big box store. Now, if you shop at a local plant nursery, and I do like featuring local plant nursery shopping videos, guys, please make sure you're checking those out. I've got several of them to show you, and I've shown quite a bit, actually, my favorites in the North Dallas area, so definitely check that out. But what I was going to get to is how plants, what was I actually talking about? Well, you know what? Let me just change subject and talk about this variegation right here on this Philodendron heteroraceum Brazil. Look at that. There's a lot of yellow variegation. And this is another good candidate that I would take if I didn't already have a Philodendron heteroraceum. And here is another gorgeous looking Tradescantia plant. This one can get leggy. I actually ended up neglecting one of my Tradescantias. It was a Costa Farms trending tropical, a gorgeous purple one with larger leaves called a Roxo. I just didn't end up watering it a lot, and so it got leggy. Now with Triscanthia like this, what you want to do is you want to pinch it back and make sure you're taking cuttings as it starts to grow. That way you can promote more bushy growth as compared to this one. This one's already starting to get pretty lanky, but the gorgeous thing about Triscanthia is you can take their cuttings, stick them in water, and they will literally root. It's the same thing with like coleus plants. That's something that I've been growing. Those are really meant to be outdoors. And really, I'm not sure if Triscanthia are really just meant to be outdoors, or do you just grow them indoors? So plant foldies or anybody watching this video, please leave in the comments if you know what that care tip looks like for Triscanthia, or even in the live premiere chats. And over here, we've got another Syngonium. This is a Syngonium berry illusion. So you can see that Syngoniums actually can differentiate, be very different, even though they're supposedly the same Syngonium. Like this one is also another Syngonium berry illusion, but you can see that this Syngonium was a lot lighter than the other one. This honestly reminds me more of a Syngonium cream illusion, but that's the thing with Costa Farms. I think they attempt to give us plant IDs. At least they've got a lot of plant IDs for most of their plants. This one is a Spathiphyllum or peace lily, but what always cracks me up with Costa Farms, and I just think it's funny, is they'll have a label for a plant that like a Spathiphyllum, but call it like home decor, beautiful home decor. I mean, I do find that these are beautiful home decors, like this one right here. This one is an inch plant, so it's another Triscanthia plant here. This one's actually pretty compact. Like that a lot. I have a Triscanthia nanu. It's a pink version of that plant, and it's doing very well for me. I'm just waiting for the cuttings I took to root so I can plant them in soil. But let's pan over here and just show you guys a couple more plants. So this is an amazing looking plant because look at how large the leaves are. This is a Photonia plant, and typically Photonias are smaller in leaf size, but look at how large this is. This is literally massive. And this is for $20.98. I ended up getting one of these Photonias, and this Photonia is called Photonia Pink Wave for clearance. I actually got it at this specific location, this Lowe's location, but you can see this is a lot more full versus the one that I have. The other one I had got a little bit more leggy, but for 50% off, I at the time wanted a big, a Photonia, and those pink large leaves are gorgeous. Love the veining of it as well. And with Photonia, they definitely don't want to be underwatered, so make sure that you keep the soil moist, and they could do better in more higher humidity settings. I've noticed that they tend to get a little crispy when you are underwatering them or if there's not enough humidity. So I always suggest for plants that need higher humidity, just cut to the chase and have them sit right next to a humidifier, and hopefully your problems for spider mites or whatever types of other plant pests disappear. I think this is really cool though. This is for $7.98. This is a Belgian waffle plant. I have been collecting the waffle plant series. I've got the purple waffle plant, the Belgian waffle plant finally, and also the Snow White waffle plant. I really like that a lot. What I like about this plant, even though I would consider this a challenging plant, is just the variegation and even the texture of the leaves. I think it's adorable. Like this one right here is the Snow White waffle plant. This is the one that has given me the most trouble because it got really crispy, and I don't know if it's just because I underwatered it or I didn't give it enough humidity. But what I want to do is actually get all of these plants and these high humidity plants and buy a biosphere. So I saw a biosphere on Instagram where it's basically a big dome where you can actually grow a cool terrarium. I do have a couple lamps that I want to create terrariums for, but when you think about just the amount of plants that we're bringing in, or at least I'm bringing in, I've really got to slow down. But how do you slow down when you run into plants like this? Like, I would totally buy all three of these plants, even though I've already got all three of these plants, because Look at how beautiful the plants are. Look at that Belgian waffle plant, the snow white waffle plant, and the purple waffle plant. Now, plant foldies, just a quick impromptu poll, or anybody watching this, leave this in the comments. Which one would you buy? Which one would you prefer? And then right over here, we've got another fern. This is a black rabbit's foot fern for $5.48. Costa Farms trending tropical, not trending, exotic angel starter. Look at that. Nice looking fern. We were talking about just now, creating a terrarium. That would be something I would stick in my terrarium. And you can see they just got a lot of starter plants right over here. Would I say that these plants are, are restocked? I'm not 100% sure, but what I am sure about is they always keep this in stock. So I find it interesting, plant foldies, that you guys mentioned you've gone to a big box store and you've just seen a lot of dead plants. I don't know if it's just Dallas is really lucky, but we've been able to get plants like this Sunny Star Croton plant. We're never gonna run out of these plants. So Costa Farms must just like to push a lot of plants to Texas. The only thing I'm a little bit salty and sad about is the fact that Costa Farms apparently shipped out a bunch of trending tropical plants to a couple of select Costco locations, but unfortunately Texas was not on the list. So there is there might be a give and take situation. I do love this Scindapsus Silver Ann. That is a nice one for $5.48. With Scindapsus, they grow similar to Pothos, but they're a lot slower in growth rate. And you can see right here, we've got another beautiful mini Pixie Syngonium. I'm just gonna start calling him that, even though it says it's a white butterfly Syngonium. I don't see the white butterfly Syngonium unless this is like a super tiny, maybe tissue cultured Syngonium, because Syngonium white butterfly had much larger leaves. I did end up picking one of those up because I thought that the miniature arrowhead leaves looked really cute, and it wasn't a bad price at all. $5.48 is not bad for this. So you just have to be really selective about these exotic angel plants. Sometimes you'll hit the jackpot. Like I felt like I hit the jackpot when I found this. So this is a Schefflera Moondrop, and this is also known as an umbrella plant. Mine is doing very well, but just like I am quickly discovering, Schefflera plants also don't like to dry out completely. You want to keep their soil moist, otherwise they get unhappy too and start drooping. So, and then right over here is the common Croton. This is a Croton Gold Dust. I would love to be able to grow a Croton Gold Dust again. I might end up buckling down and getting a Croton Gold Dust just because I love the yellow foliage. It looks like somebody just like splattered a bunch of yellow paint on it. And in here we are looking at another Photonia. This one is a Photonia Pink Angel. It's just shocking that I have literally seen a Photonia Pink Angel almost every day, and I'm loving it. I'm loving that I'm able to share with you guys plants. And just look at this. This is another Hedera Helix. This Hedera Helix English Ivy is a Bettina, and I actually own a Bettina Ivy in my collection. It's doing fairly well. With English Ivies, you just have to really watch it like a hawk. You have to just really see if it's, got some spider mite. I would say if you spray your English Ivy at least once a week with neem oil and make sure not to overwater it, you'll be able to grow it. Now, this is what I was talking about. Costa Farms, can we do better in listing beautiful home decor? Like, I know this is beautiful home decor, but what is this plant directly, specifically? This is a plant though for $5.48. It is beautiful home. It is known as beautiful home decor. So I'm not sure if you've gotten a beautiful home decor type plant, but I really like this plant a lot. This beautiful home decor plant right here is purple, dark foliage leaves, and I just think that we need more beautiful home decor. Do you see what I'm talking about? Like, I really wish Costa Farms would just be slightly more consistent about the plant IDs. You'd get more because if you have the plant ID, you can at least do your research and really check out what the plant care tips are. And I'm just gonna walk over here, and obviously they have this picture where they have a bunch of the smaller hanging baskets. It looks like they have like compressed a lot of their plants together where they've got a whole row of like anthuriums. I do love some anthuriums, blooming anthuriums, but You know how we saw that beautiful home decor? That is the actual plant ID for it. So I don't know why Costa Farms just didn't label the beautiful home decor the actual plant label. And you can see right there, they've got some rainbow moss. I remember seeing a bunch of rainbow moss hanging baskets earlier this year in January. And then we've got so many gorgeous looking floral anthurium or blooming anthurium. Look at that red right there. And it's even got just a little bit of mutation on the actual blooms. And I don't mind the planter in this one right here. And this is only for $13.98. That is not a bad price at all, because most places selling blooming anthurium, it's within the $14, maybe $15 range for that size. So those were all released by Costa Farms. So Costa Farms is doing its thing. You are definitely one of the best plant suppliers out there, and I'm just glad that Costa Farms has been able to like just source out so many different plants. Like now they're getting into bonsai, but my only critique about doing bonsai is you really have to look at the plant, whether it's suitable for bonsai, what did that trimming look like to style it, and do we have appropriate soil mix for it? Because if you're gonna grow bonsai, you definitely need a fast draining soil. Otherwise, you have a higher chance of actually doing root rot for plants that are growing in a bonsai situation. And here I'm showing you guys actually a Dracaena tornado. This is a plant foldy favorite, and I can understand why, because as this actual Dracaena matures, it'll continue to spin around just kind of like a tornado or hurricane. And I like that. By Urban Jungle, that's for $13.98. And this is another croton that I'm asking you guys, anybody knows what this croton plant ID is? Because this croton plant ID also reminds me of like a philodendron, just some types of philodendron, just the leaf shape of it. And with this type of plant, it is more influenced by the amount of light, how bright and colorful it will get. And even with this, like this Syngonium Maria, although it's a dark foliage plant, if you give it a lot more bright indirect light, it'll get darker and more shimmering and just gorgeous. And this is again by Urban Jungle for $13.98. I've been discovering a lot of cool Alocasia as I go about from Urban Jungle, so maybe I might get lucky and find something a little bit more rare. And then these are the hanging baskets I was talking about. This is a hanging basket of some red Marantha. These are for $16.98, and with Maranthas, I think I want to add more Maranthas, but I'm still monitoring like how my Calatheas are growing in hydroponics. They're doing very well, but I think with any like prayer plant, Stramanthes, Nanthes, Calatheas, you want to just make sure to grow them in hydroponics because they require a lot more water. And if you're growing a plant in water, you don't ever have to worry about watering it. Call me lazy, but I found like a plant hack. And then right here we are looking at another Belgian waffle plant hanging basket by Costa Farms for $15.98. And we can't skip this. This is one of my favorite plants of all time. This is a Philodendron Hederaceum lemon lime, and you can see that this has legit yellow foliage leaves and then some lime green or light color leaves. Now, in order for somebody to maintain that yellow coloration, you've really got to give this one a lot of bright indirect light. Otherwise, the less light it receives, the more green it will be, or it'll get darker and darker. And honestly, I love that Philodendron Hederaceum lemon lime. Just another gorgeous plant. I asked the question, would you buy a neon pothos or that Philodendron Hederaceum lemon lime? So leave that in the comments or even in the live premiere chats. As always, I love hearing for y'all. So, it seems like we've gotten some more regulars, but, I wouldn't mind seeing more of you guys on that live premiere chat. And then right over here, we are looking at a Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. This one's a pretty lush and full golden pothos. That one is for $16.98, and I really love the look of that. I saw this at another Lowe's just recently, but they've got another Nanthe plant right here. Love the green on green variegation. So a couple years back, I actually grew this plant, and that's the thing. I didn't know a lot about plants. I honestly just thought I could take a plant home, water it, and keep it alive. I did not realize that plants get pests, what kind of pests that existed. And so now I have a more of an appreciation for those who've been able to grow plants long term. But to go back to this, I used to have a Nanthe plant like this, and I ended up killing it because it ended up getting a bunch of spider mites, just because it was just beyond repair. What a gorgeous looking bird's nest fern. So I've been talking about getting a fern, and I think that I would end up getting a bird's nest fern as my first fern, because look at this right here. This is by I think Urban Jungle or Live Trends, but look at that. What I like about this is it's already large, but it's got some serrated leaves, and it just looks precious right here. I do think this is like for $22.48. And then you can see right here, this is another Calathea. And plant foldies, I really want to know what this plant ID is for this Calathea, because look at how gorgeous the undersides of the leaves are. But it also has lavender and pink, all around it. It's got some very sporadic coloration, but I think it's gorgeous. I honestly would have paid $22.48 for this, but I might get lucky and be able to find that for less. I just need to know what that plant ID is. This Live Trends Calathea is absolutely stunning, and I wouldn't be nervous growing it because you already know if I bought that plant, I would spray down the soil, clean out as much of the soil off of the roots, and stick it in water and pray that it will acclimate in it. And you can see right here, this one is a little bit more pronounced in its hurricane. This is another Dracaena Hurricane. Look at that. Look at how it is spiraling around. And I do love the fact that it's got some variegation. They do have a just straight green Tornado Dracaena, but I just thought that this is even a cooler look about it. And then I'm going to pull this out here. So this is another Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil by Urban Jungle, and I like the look of both plants. So when you think about like what plants you would put next to each other, this would be a good combination plant just because the colors are very similar. They've got some greens, yellow greens and straight yellow plants, and I like that sometimes when you have plants that make sense, it just makes your plant aesthetics better. And I am going to be ending this video fairly soon just because the rain has let up and I want to get home. But as always, if you've made it to this far, please make sure you're hitting the like button and hitting subscribe with the notification bell on. This is Richie at Grow Folks. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.